What are good reasons to live? Because the 22 of February 2022 is 22/2/22 and it is also a Tuesday, meaning we can call it Tuesday. I don't have reasons to live, I only have reasons to not die. Despite how similar those sound, they are different. And most people who are content with their lives won't be able to make the distinction. Honestly, I just want to ride it out and see what happens. Us humans are so entertaining. One minute we're blowing each other up. The next we have pet rocks or something. So you can say to the person mugging you and threatening to kill you, what makes you think I have money? Or a will to live? I read this on a similar AskReddit. We are all lights in the darkness for one another. When one light goes out, it makes it that much more dark for the rest of us. The human eye can see a single candle from 4 miles away. You never know when your light is the only light someone can see. If you quit now, you won't get to play the futuristic video games. We'll actually have the technology to make 99% immersive. Floating in a large body of water with no distractions. Also, did you know that if you float on your back in a hot tub with all the jets on that, you'll spin in a lazy little circle? I did not know that, and it's pretty fun. It's also quite relaxing. If you're careful, you can do it while reading a book. If you haven't had a chance to try that yet, you should hang on at least until you do. It's pretty rad. Spite. Dying sucks. Death seems okay. But it's the stuff before that I'd rather not deal with just yet. You've been dead for eternity before you were born. Let that sink in. An infinite amount of time where you did not exist. And for a universal split second you're alive. After which you will stop existing for an infinite amount of time. In the grand scheme of things, being alive is literally the least likely thing that could have happened. And yet here you are. The smell of a fresh rain. The smell of flowers. Being able to cuddle your pet. The taste of your favorite food. Being able to finish out your favorite TV shows. Simple. I'm not done here. And I guess I'm not allowed to die until I am. I've ducked and tried to kill myself. Drove my car off a forest ravine at 95 miles per hour. Duckin' went right through the trees for about 50 feet, then landed onto the road on the other side of the S-bend. Car had a small dent in the front bumper. And half-inch chip missing, both from the winding road sign I took out right before the ravine, but not a scratch otherwise. I went back to look. There was no gap between the trees big enough for a car. Years later, I tried to blow my brains out with shotgun. Pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. Sat there for like 10 seconds. Then took the barrel away from under my chin. And the exact second it was clear, it went off, jumping out of my hands and missing me by a few degrees. So yeah, I don't know what the duck I believe in. But if there is a God, I guess he wants me to stay on Earth for a while longer. Presumably because I'm supposed to help someone. Figure I'll just help as many people as I can until I hit my quota or whatever and eventually get to die. Woo-hoo. I just don't see a future for me. It's impossible for me to imagine a possible future. I'm just lost and don't want to feel sad all the time anymore. Knowing that you are somehow and some way a part of someone's day and routine, and if you disappeared their life would be missing something. That you never know what'll happen tomorrow. And it just might be something good. If you have a pet, no one could possibly love and bond with him like you could. And that living would spite everyone that wanted you not to. If you kill yourself, you'll never have a chance to try again. Something interesting may happen. You never know. We will all die anyway, so live life on your own terms and take whatever comes. Space. Imagine all the cool things you'll miss if you die today. Who knows how far we'll get with space technology in the future. You might be able to see whole galaxies in the sky. Or view the moon closer than ever before. Or even simply have the opportunity to look up at the sky in the wilderness and seeing the same stars your ancestors saw. The same stars Van Gogh and Galileo saw. Life is so simple, yet so complicated at the same time. Take everything one moment at a time and I can assure you that you will find your way to contentment. To see what comes next, I have nearly died several times and am crippled and waiting on cancer scans. What has kept me plowing forward is wanting to see as much of the future play out as possible. Not just big things, like my grandkids growing up and will Trump be defeated, but little things like how will the Lakers do this year and will Batman marry Catwoman. It may sound trite, but it works for me. A word of wisdom that has stuck with me for years. It hit me most when in the context of my relationship of the time, but I found it applies to everything. If you are constantly searching for the negative, you will find it. If you are constantly searching for the positive, you will find it. There is endless new out there waiting to be discovered. There are 7.5 billion people on Earth. If you only connect with 1 out of every 100 people you meet, that's 75 million people out there that you just haven't met yet that could change your whole perspective of life. To put a big middle finger up to the universe. It's hard. But trundling along no matter how hard existence kicks you is a poetic duck you to it. There are many great reasons to live. You just have to find what suits you best. I love learning, my family, my friends, and bettering lives around me. That's what keeps me going. I hope you have many reasons that you enjoy life. Are you okay? Not sure if you all will see this, but thank you for all this attention. I posted this out of impulse and didn't think anyone would answer. I wasn't even gonna check if anyone responded. I was and still am in a very bad place. To the point I almost didn't wake up today. I can only admit that because I'm anonymous on here. I'm looking into free therapy that's offered at my school BC here in the US. Anything health related is insanely expensive. Thanks for all the sweet comments and thanks for the funny ones. I laughed today for the first time in a few days. Razors pain you. Rivers are damp. Acid stains you. Drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful. Nooses give. Gas smells awful. You might as well live. Resumed by Dorothy Parker. Here's my philosophy on it I gained after a depressing night. There are many. But you may or may not have any right now. What do I mean by that? I think that the biggest reason to live is purpose. When you have a purpose, you have a fundamental reason to exist. But you don't have a purpose inherently, unless someone assigned you one for your whole life. So the way existence works, based off how I've seen it, is that it's up to the top of cosmic pyramid of sentient beings to determine what exists and for what reasons. Now for many, that's God and he determines their purpose. Now what about for us who aren't sure about, or don't believe in, God? Then that would mean that the next highest thing in the pyramid, at least that we know of within our own existences, is us. So if we are the next highest form of being, then it's up to us to determine purpose for ourselves. Hence why people feel like they don't have one, which, in turn, means no reasons to live. It's because they haven't decided to give themselves one. It's the same thing with nothing mattering. Nothing matters until you, the highest form, decides that it does, to you anyways. Thoughts? I believe either a single person or a purpose is good enough. One can strive to learn a language, visit a place, or learn a skill. These are pretty good reasons. I have a few people whose life will be affected by my absence. That is why I do not want to die yet. There is one thing more. One should have a good enough reason to die. Wife. 3 daughters. 3 nephews whose father died. Another 3 nephews whose father died. 9 young people on this earth who look up to me, who also share the same existential crises at a physiological level. Because I love them all, and wouldn't want it for them. I must lead by example and live the best I can, especially when I don't want to. Raising your kids and having the ability to meet your grandchildren, living long enough to hold a decent conversation with your grown grandchildren, but not too long-lived. I don't want to live so long I start to bury my own children as they age into their 50s and 60s while I push into my 80s and 90s. Curiosity. Many people are driven by that. It's a basic yet powerful human emotion to want to learn and understand everything around us. Without curiosity we wouldn't be where we are today.